Okay. Maseches Bava Metzia, Daf Samech Tes Amud Beis. We are all so excited to start our Amud Yomi Shiur again. Bezras Hashem. Lilunishmas Avimoyri Menachem Ben Akiva. We shall do some Chazorah. Welcome everybody here in Avos Shalom, in YouTube, and absolutely on Torah anytime. Let's go. We are talking here about ribbis, and actually we're not talking about Iska anymore in the next few paragraphs. We're going to talk about other aspects of ribbis. What we're going to see now is something very, very substantial, very basic and fundamental to do with ribbis. We saw it yesterday. I'm going to read it again today because there's a lot of additions to make here from the Rishonim. Rav Chama. We are in the 6th line from the top of the page. Line starts with Tavi Vetkuli, and we are in Rav Chama. Baruch Hashem. Rav Chama, says the Gemara. Rav Chama havamoigar zuzi pshita leyoima, which means Rav Chama did something which we have to understand why he did. What did he do? Rav Chama rented out his money, yeah? And what did he say to people? I'm renting you out the money every day. Yeah, that a zuz spends by you, you have to give me an 1/8 of the zuz. Okay? In other words, every day that the money stays by you, you pay me more. L'choiro, that's ribbis. What did Rav Chama exactly think? The Gemara explains what Rav Chama thinks, and we still need more explanation. Continues the Gemara and says, yeah, Hu Sova, Rav Chama thought, Maishna mimoro. What's the difference between renting out money or renting out my shovel, my spade, my hoe, or my hose, or my drill, or my whatever? What's the difference? And of course, everybody's going to ask now, what do you mean? What did Rav Chama think? Obviously, if the Torah says that ribbis is also, then renting out money is also. Very nice logic, and it's true maybe by Goyim, but just because you change the semantics, and instead of saying, I'm lending to you, what did he say? I'm maskir to you, I'm renting, what's the difference? The same thing. That is a question that bothered many of the Rishonim. Answer number one is the Ritva. Yeah, we're not continuing now in the Gemara. We have to understand, why did Rav Chama do such a thing? If I give you chazer, if I eat chazer in the store, and I say, this is chicken, this is chicken, this is chicken, all these jokes, kosher, here's the moon's not there. What do you mean? Just because you say that, it means that it's there? Yeah, there are all these jokes about, kosherizing. You can't do that. Explains the Ritva as follows. The Ritva says like this. Rav Chama said to the people, before we answer any of the Rishonim's answer, we have to know the following. There's a big difference, but what really is the difference between halvo and schius, lending and renting? Yeah, as the Gemara itself is going to tell us soon, the main difference is that when I do halvo, then you, the loiva, the one borrowing the money, has no way out. You have to give the money, bahuk bakruk. The achrais is yours, absolutely. Yeah, there's no such thing as oinsin. You'll always have to give me back the money, whatever happens, unless I forgive you and I'm nice, right? B'shenken by schirus, by definition, schirus of all types, even if you look at it as she'ela, when you lend an object to your friend without, not money, just an object, there's always a way, halachic way, that he doesn't have to return it. Even a shoyel, the highest and the most committed of the 4 shoymrim, even he has to give it, even he has a way out of Mesa Machmas Malocho. If the drill died, you lent him a drill for Sukkot, he died in a normal fashion as you were doing the normal job with it. Yeah, not something out of the way. Machmas Malocho, you potter from giving it, which means the achrayas is on who? Is not on the borrower. The achrayas is on the lender. Yeah, the one who lent the what's its name, the drill, has to, at the end of the day, face a loss sometimes. Having said that, now we can understand what the Ritva says and what Tosfos says. The Ritva, I'm starting with Ritva before Tosfos on purpose. The Ritva says, I have the Ritva over here. The Ritva says like this. What Rav Chama did was like that. He told people, listen, I am actually maskir to you, what? I'm giving you schirus, which means from my point of view, schirus means that really you are responsible. If the money doesn't come back to me, yeah, in other words, you are, no. Yeah, in other words, I'm mitzidi giving you schirus with the agreement of schirus as if it's an object, which means if you lose it, you lose it. What can I do? Yeah, Masha'en can, they would mekabel the achrayus later. they complemented it and they said, we treat it like milveh, and we're telling you that, we're telling you that what? That if really I'm sorry. We're telling you that we're taking the achrayas, and if anything's going to happen, we are responsible. It turned into halva in their hands. From his point of view, it was chirus. They made it into halva. So that in his havamina kosherized it. Because mitzido, he really treats it like schirus, which means, if anything happens to the money, I'm not going to get it back. And they knew to say, no, we will give it back to you. In that havamina, mitzido, from his point of view, is fine. Now, Toises, look at Toises. It's a short and sweet Toises. We are in Samech Tes Amud Beis at 69b. 69b1 in the art scroll, absolutely. Yeah. Art scroll, here we go. Uga Zuza Bepshit. It says Toises. Listen to the second Toises, short and sweet. Mekabel hoy olav achrais oinsin. Wow. Not only in theory and as a shtick and phraseology, he really accepted the achrais oinsin, which means when Rabbi Chama gave them the money, he said, if this money, before you deposit it in the bank, before you actually use it, it's going to get lost, and you don't have to give it back to me. Wow. He really treated it as what? As like renting out the drill. It's like the drill, which is if anything happens to it and it's not your fault, not anything happens. If a robber, and you prove to me on your way to the bank, those very notes that I gave you, somebody came with a gun and robbed it from you, then I can what? I will really believe you if you really prove it, and therefore I'm really am a maskir and not a mashir. Wow. Ad kedei kach. So he thought that was good. He thought there was a good thing to do, and that's a very strong havamina. It's not just a play of words. He really treated the money as if it was a drill, as if it was a shovel in the garden, whatever, the cutter, the lawnmower, that's it. Okay, so now says the Gemara, no, that doesn't help. What happened? Kalu zuzi de Rav Chama. Rav Chama, first of all, I'm going back a line. Rav Chama lost all his money. Why did he lose his money? Because it was malve ribbis. It was ribbis. He thought ma'ishnami moro. He thought, no, I'm treating it really as if this was a mo, as if this was renting out a piece of an object. Veloi, he's wrong. Why? Moro, there are two differences between renting and lending of an object and money. Moro, hadra be'ena, that's first of all. Secondly, ve'yadia pachte, which means the moro, when you lend out an object, first of all, it's supposed to come back in its original form, right? And if it didn't come in its original form, you, the borrower of the lawnmower, you can tell me, and you'd be right sometimes. Oh, I'm sorry, not my fault. And therefore, when I take rental money, it's not on top of it's just to secure myself. It's like security. Maybe I won't see the lawnmower ever again, right? I want to secure myself. Secondly, yedia pachte. Even if you give it to me nicely, without arguing and without telling me tall tales about oinus, lemaisa, there's always wear and tear. There's natural wear and tear of the object, and therefore these are the characteristics of what? Of the renting, and for that you deserve to get money. That's what the Rishonim say. You get money when you rent out your car. Question: why isn't it ribbis? Listen to this. Ribbis applies to object. Unbelievable question here. Am I over in ribbis every time I rent out my car, rent out my drill? Why? Because I'm getting back the drill plus the money. Whoa, we're becoming ribbis oriented, all paranoid about ribbis. Says the Gemara, that's not a problem of ribbis, because really I want to secure myself that if anything happens, I have the money. And even if nothing really happens, there's wear and tear. For that justifies taking money as the Torah allows. However, Zuzi, when you gave out money, and it doesn't matter which loshon you were using, if lamaisa what you gave was money, cash, money is not supposed to come back in its original form, and therefore you can't tell excuses. Oh, I lost it. Oh, who cares? You're not supposed to give me like the same bunch of stars. You're supposed to give me new ones. So what if somebody robbed you like that when you're on the way to the bank with my money? Machpatli, you're supposed to give me new money anyways. So whatever happens to my money doesn't make a difference. Even in the agreement of Rav Chama, according to some Rishonim, midorabanan there's still ribbis, even if not midoraisa, because it's mechzik ribbis. That's one explanation. Exactly, you said the words. Nice. If you gave me the original money, also, money is money. It looks the same, feels the same, smells the same. It doesn't smell, actually. In other words, money, there's no risk involved. When you lend money, of course, some people don't return their loans, and then reshoim. But lemaisa, halachically, a person who gives out money has no way out. And therefore, that's ribbis. What's ribbis? Lehitrabot, to add, to increase. You got the $1,000 back exactly as they were. And there is no other way out. Why are you taking extra? Extra. And therefore, that's called ribbis, regardless to whichever agreement you do. That's end of number one. Omar Rove. Now we have more chidushim about the next case. Says Rove. What about the next two cases till the Mishnah are going to be about indirect ribbis? Yeah, there are three players in these two cases. There are three players. I'm going to read some ritzvah from the inside, and everything will be nice. Be'ezras Hashem. Omar Rove, says Rove. A person is allowed to tell his friend. A person is Baal Chesed. A person has no, you have to stress that here, and that's a Chiddush Tzvi. Yeah, we asked yesterday. A person is a nice Baal Chesed, has no interest with money. Excuse the pun, no interest involved. I see my friend, I'm in Koyel, I see my friend, the other Avrech, he doesn't have a penny for his name, and I know a rich guy, not super rich, somebody can lend money. What do? Listen to this. A person is allowed to tell his friend, let's say I'm the Baal Chesed, I don't have money to lend. I'm telling my friend, the rich guy, hey lech dalet zuzi, I'll give you 4 zuzim. I want to incentivize you, give you a prize in advance, yeah, an incentive. Take my dalet zuzim, the uzpei leplania zuzi, and I want you to lend the poor avrech, my friend, 1,000 shekels. Take 50 shekels incentive and lend him 1,000. That's allowed. Why wouldn't be allowed? What's the havamina, my friends? He lent money and he got more money. It's true, not from the same person. There's a triangle here. But Mr. Lender got money in advance. Which money? The dalit zuzim, the 40 shekel, whatever. And what? And he lent 1,000. At the end of the day, and he'll get the 1,000 back from the avrech, the borrower. So at the end of the day, he ends up in his pocket with 1,000 plus 40. Maybe that's ribbis, even if it's not from the same person. His money was mitrabe, right? And says the Gemara, that's allowed. Why is it allowed? The Torah only forbade ribbis that comes straight from the loive to the malve. Yeah, only when it's directly from the borrower to the lender, then it's also. You can still ask, what's the chiddush? What? It's not even avak ribbis because it's not the same person. However, when would it be avak ribbis a big problem? Big machlokes rishonim. What would happen if the person is not exactly initiating it himself? Let's say the poor avrech says to me, listen, Akiva, you're connected to rich people out there, maybe, I don't know, in Chutz La'aretz, yeah? Maybe, yeah, get it? Mr. Borrower is now asking me, or maybe even giving me money. Ooh. He's giving me money, and he's saying, you go with this money, you get the and you tell him to lend me money. That's really a big question because it's indirectly coming from the love, right? And then I give it to I'm not mamish shliach. If I'm his shliach mamish, it's for sure osur. If I'm mamish shliach, no question, it's an isser, right? If you mamish as akiva, go get the person with the dalit zuzi and give him shlichus is osur. Shlichus shalom k'mosi, it's osur. Let's say it's a bit more indirect. I'll read you cases in the Ritva. For example, yeah. The Ritva says, let's say he gave me the money without telling me a word. Yeah. In other words, sorry. The poor guy, the borrower, thank you. I try to avoid that. The borrower, I'm the middleman. I'm the nice guy. I'm nice, you know. So now the borrower, to be, told me, take dalit zuzim. Okay. Right. Okay. He's a loive. Beseder. Okay, and now he didn't say anything, but now I went on my own accord, but the money came from him. The money came from the borrower to me, the middleman, and I incentivized the malve. But he didn't say a word. He didn't say anything. Yeah. Look at or there's another case even. There's another better case. Yeah. The Afilu says the Ritva. Let's say it worked the other way. I'm the nice guy. I gave 50 shekels to Mr. Lender, rich guy. lend him 1,000 shekels. And then the loive, gave it to me. The loive, he wanted to basically compensate me, and he said, "Oh, so nice of you, Akiva. You gave me 50 shekels in order to incentivize to give a loan. The loive, I'll compensate you. I'll give you the 50. Is that a problem? Lacher Maisa. Let's say it was Lacher Maisa. You know what I'm saying? Again, I on my own accord went, and I went to the rich guy with 50 shekels from my own pocket and said, "Give the poor guy 1,000," and he gave him, and everything was good. Later, he realized what happened. The borrower came to me, the middleman, and compensated me. He gave me the 50 shekels. That is not a problem. Why? He didn't have to give me bichlal. He didn't give me anything, right? That's the next case. It's like Shadchonis B'di'evid, because Lamaisa, he got what? No, he got from the lender. No, he got from the lender. No. The lender gave him directly. That's the other case. The lender gave him directly. The lender met him directly, but I'm the one who initiated it. So nobody touching each other. Very nice. And even though he gave me money afterwards, the borrower gave me the middleman money. That's lacher ma'ases, being nice. Nobody committed him. It's not considered being part of the story. Machlokes Rishonim, what happens in the following case? What I told you before is now. Says the Ritva, what happens if the borrower says, I'm desperate for money. Whoever is going to talk to Mr. Rothschild, Rockefeller, will not lose. Oh, he's not saying take the 40. No, that's for sure, Osir. Let's say he's Merames. He's talking in hints and allusions, and he says, oh, I'm so desperate for a loan. Anybody that would talk to Mr. Rockefeller, to Bill Gates, okay, it's a guy, I don't know, to Moshe Gates, Moshe Chaim Gates, whoever's going to talk to the big rich guy, to Moshe Koyen, whoever, then he will not lose. Lo yafsid. That's already a question. When he says, is this called meshaleach me to take the initiative, but he sent me, I'm a shliach and it's osir, or because he's using such a euphemistic, such a nebulous lotion of whoever is going to get won't lose, and then he gives me the money, maybe that's allowed. That's already a question. So again, if it's my initiative of the middleman, it's okay. If Imam sent me and told me, okay, I'm giving you 50 shekels and you go and get me the loan, it's for sure also. I mean, shliach. If it's somewhere in the middle, he was a bit, elusive, then it's already machlokes rishonim. Some rishonim are very much against it, some are okay with it. Let's see the next case. If you want to ask questions, you get the whole picture, because we're going to have now the opposite case. And then you can ask whatever you want when you get to the Mishnah. Now comes the opposite case, what I think you were saying. A person is allowed to tell his friends, and in the opposite case, a person is allowed to tell his friend, Shaki lacharbo zuzi, yeah, you take daled zuzi, right? I'm now asking you, take daled zuzi, and tell so and so to lend me money, right? L'choira, we said that's not allowed, right? Because why? Is that called shlichus, right? In other words, I'm mamish asking you, take dalit zuzim and try and convince Mr. and so to lend me 1,000. Why all of a sudden is that allowed? What's going on over here? My timer, why is that? Schar amira kashokil. It's not called shlichus bichlal. It's called schar amira kashokil, meaning there are 2 points. First of all, the one who lent the money is who? The middleman didn't lend any money. I took the money to myself and I keep it there for life. It's mine, right? I am doing a favor to who? It's not even shlichus. No, I'm doing a favor to the borrower. And who is lamaisa, the one who, as you said nicely, got out of the picture? I'm the middleman. I'm out of the picture. I got my sechar. I'm out of the picture. Who's lending to who? Lender to borrower, and I'm out. I just whispered in the ear of the lender, lend him money. And that is okay. Why is that okay? My time is schar amira kashakil, is only taking sechar for talking. In other words, I took my maskoret, I took my, my salary, my wages, for convincing the person to give you a loan. People do it all the time. Some of the mortgage dealers, that's what they do. They talk to the bank to give you a loan, right? And they take money, which is a set amount of money, percentage, or they take the, 2,000 shekels, however much they take on the cut in the deal. They are not the malve. The malve, so there are 2 issues here. First of all, I'm out of the picture because the malve and the loive talk to each other. The malve is the one who got, neither the loive gave ribbis, nor the malve got ribbis. No, I, the middleman. Now, the Havamina would be that what Mr. Loive lost money. He got a loan of 1,000, plus he had to dig deeper into his pocket, and also he got 50. That's nice, but maybe it's like neshech. It's not for two reasons. Reason number one, I'm out of the picture. I got the money. Call me whichever way you want. I'm not even a shliach in this particular case. He wasn't meshaleach me. He gave me money and said, "That's your job. That's your job. That's what you do." Like some people paint your house for money, they dance at your wedding for money. I'm a person. My profession is to talk to the lender, to talk to the bank, and to the credit card company. That's my job, and that's absolutely kosher, and that's what's done today. Yeah. So now the Ritva asks, why do you need both reasons? But first, no, excuse me. Let's first finish the case, and then I'll be open to questions. So far we spoke about two things. In other words, as long as it's not directly from Malva to Loive, whether the Loive not lost, the Loive took out money but gave it to a third party, or the Malve got money from the third party, it's always kosher. As long as the Loive and the Malve didn't directly get and give from each other, the ribbis, the third party is kosher, unless the third party is mamish a shaliach. Unless I'm mishalech him with my money, go to him and give him the money from me, that is trade. But as long as I told him, take the money to yourself, not to him. Take money to yourself. It's your money, your salary. You are a worker. You could paint my house for the money, play at the wedding of my daughter, or ask for mortgage. It's just your salary. You're not giving this money to the bank. You keep the money. That's your salary. Now you talk to the bank. That's an underzach. Did the bank take charges for me? No. That's science fiction, of course. Did the Gemach take money? Speak to the Gemach. Did the Gemach take ribbis from me? No. No ribbis passed to the hands of, exchanged hands from the Malva to Loiva. There's a third person, just got his little salary, and that's okay. Let's just continue the story to emphasize that, and then you can do whatever you want. Be'ezras Hashem, we'll be open to questions. Now, Kiho, story time. Story to emphasize that inyan. Kiho de Abba Mar Breder of Pope. If you make the siyum, Be'ezras Hashem will make siyum that Rav Papa had 10 children. They all mentioned in Shas, they all did siyumim. Abba Mar was the son of Rav Papa. What did he do? He did just that. Aveshakil oigna de kira mikiroi. He took like one honeycomb, like wax unit, like one wax comb, whatever, from the beehive, from the wax people, from the wax producers, yeah, from the waxman. Yeah, he took some for free. He got some, he received some free what? Pieces of wax from the wax producers, merchants. Omer le'lavu, and he told his father, the father was rich, you know, our Papa was a rich man. Uzpinu Zuzi, please lend Mr. Waxman some money. Oh, so that's what? That's our case, right? He got from them money in the shape of wax and kept it for himself. He had candles for Bdikas Chometz for the next year or so, yeah? And then he told his Tati, please lend money to those nice people that gave me the wax. Rabbanon told Rav Pope, Achil Brede Mari Bisa. Oh, your son is eating ribbis. Their Havamina was what? That as long as the other person, the loiv, the borrower, lost money, spent money, that's called ribbis. Even though it got to the wrong hands, not to the hands of the malve. As I explained to you, it's very nice. You remember the beginning of the parak? Neshech and ribbis. Ribbis means money increases by the malve. Neshech, the loiv is being bitten. Oh, the loiv is being bitten, right? The loiv has to spend money in order to get a loan. That, at least with the Rabbanon, smells like ribbis. Amar lehu, says Rav Papa to the Rabbanon, no problem. Kol ki ay ribisa nechu, that kind of ribis I can eat, no problem. And by the way, there's a difference whether there's above bar mitzvah, below bar mitzvah. In other words, Rav Papa also ate from that money. That's what the Tani says, no problem. I can eat it myself too, no problem. Whether no shala. Why? Lo so toiro. Two things. El ribis abo miloy v'lamalve. First of all, the Torah only forbids ribbis that's directly exchanging hands from Malva to Loive, and that's absolutely from Loive to Malva, excuse me. That's not what happened here. The money ended up in a completely different place called me and my son. Yeah, excuse me, my son, not me. My son is his own entity, and I'm my own entity. Even if later I go to his house and I eat there something, that's a separate Indian, but the money belongs to my son. It's in my son's bank account. My son is eating it. Yeah, my son is his own thing. Yeah, let's say the son is a bar mitzvah. The son is married. The son is his own financial entity. My son got the money, not me. I lent and he got the money. And it's not like a whole umbrella of mafia over here. We're all together. Ocho, and another difference, charamira kashakil v'shari. Besides the fact that here is not is the definition of the money that he's getting is what? He's only getting money for talking to me. That's his job. His job is a person who gets other people to lend you money. If this is the salary that he got, ribbis has nothing to do with that. Yeah. The Ritva asks, why do you need both reasons? And Bli Neder, after listening to your questions, then we'll read Ritva inside. Bezos Hashem. And now I'm open to questions or questions. Before we go into the Mishnah, the Ritva asks a question. I'm quoting the Ritva inside. I'm sorry it's not on the screen or not photocopied, but you'll get it. The Gemara is now, if you remember, when we spoke about the first case of the big Baal Chesed who initiates and gives from his own money to who? To the Malve, we gave one reason. We said, well, the money came from the pocket, not of the Loive. The money came over the pocket of a nice Baal Chesed, his initiative. Then it's allowed because one reason only, it's not directly Malve to Loive. When the second case came of what? Of when that mortgage broker is asked to what? To, is saying, I get money from Mr. Loive to my pocket. I got the ribbis, not ribbis. I got my salary, I got the money, and then I talked to the Malve, then it's okay. Then you gave two reasons. First of all, because we said there's no Malve Loive connection. Very nice, your marshal. There's no electricity circuit here because not Malve Loive. And then we added another reason, and we said why? Because what he's getting is a salary. Why do you have to define that? And if you define it as, I don't know, my grandmother's salary, machpat, well, what's the difference? So I'm skipping the question. Answers the Ritva. Hakamash Malan. Listen to this. Let's say there's a case that I actually read you the second question. The second answer is very sharp. Let's say the Malve says to the middleman, you want me to lend to him? I'll only give, this is a big chiddush, and it's actually, I think I was wrong before, Lufi the Ritva. Maybe it's Machloikes. You want me to lend him money? And he gave you the 4 zuzim? He gave you the wax? He, the borrower, gave you the middleman money. I want that money. Then it's still okay. Wow. That's a chiddush. Because indirectly, the same money at the end of the day came to the Malve. Still is okay. Why? For that we need what? No, that's not enough. Why? Because that's the salary. Listen how beautiful. I'm getting it now much better. I want to dance now. Listen. Very good. Listen. If the money ended up by the middleman, the borrower gave Mr. Broker middleman and it stayed by him in his bank account and he's buying a new car with it. Of course, no chiddush anymore, right? Nice. No malveloive. Nobody touched anybody. That's fine. Now, however, what happened if there was a precondition? Says the malve, I know you, Mr. Broker. You got the wax, the money from him. Give it to me and then I'll lend him. How is that allowed? That's allowed. Why? Because there was a stop in the middle called salary. Because the money that he gets, really, he deserves a broker in the middle. And that kilo stops it in the middle and breaks the connection between the malve and the loiv. That's pshat. In other words, because that's his wages, the salary's percentage that every mortgage broker takes, right? That's my money. The fact they gave it later to the other guy, even if he's interested in it, doesn't make a difference. Because Lamaisa, I got what I deserve. The fact that later the middleman, gave the same money that the lawyer gave me, I gave to the mother. I'm not a shliach. Why am I not a shliach from him to him, which would betray? A shlichus would betray. It's one long hand. The reason why it's okay, because when it ended up by me, it's like a stopover. You make a stopover and you take your suitcases. It's a stop. It's by me a salary. Afterwards, I gave it to the other guy. Even if he conditioned it, does make a difference. I gave him from my money. I could give him for another account. I could give him another car instead of money. It's a whole separate cheshbon. To separate between the cheshbainas. For that, the Gemara had to say that it's a salary. You know why I'm happy? Because now I chopped it much better what I saw yesterday in the reading. What? It's called, you can call it laundering. Kamash malan that it's not. Right. Laundering, but kosher laundering. Kosher money laundering. I don't know if everyone agrees to that. Many different shittus Rishonim. You know, the Ritva, I'm always with the Ritva. Adkan. Okay, Beseder. Very nice. Baruch Hashem. Next Mishnah. אני שומע מה שאתה שואל. Whatever. Weiter says the Heilige Mishnah. Says the Heilige Mishnah. Now we are back to Iska. Back to Iska. Says the Mishnah. Shamin. What's Shamin? I have a Shamin para v'chamo. I have a cow. I have a donkey that are adult. Yeah, but I want to breed them to be even nicer, better to run, to do, to milk. I want to improve them. I don't know how to deal with animals. I don't know how to deal with people either. What do? I tell my friend who is a kibbutznik, moshavnik. What do I say? I have all the money. I'm giving the parah and chamor, and what? You take care of it. When we sell that prized cow to Tnuva that makes billions of liters of milk a day because you fed it well and you dealt with it, eventually we'll go half-half. Is that allowed? No, unless what? Here it's allowed. Listen to this. The kol davar shu oiseh ve'oichel lemechza, which means if those animals are work animals, that cow can plow the field. That chamor can plow the field, can carry burdens on it. And therefore, automatically, what's the vort of chetzi chetzi that's osir? It's ribbis. How do we avoid ribbis by iska? Tilting the scales, tipping the scales, that Mr. Worker gets money not because of the alva, but because of another source. He has very nice cow and donkey that while he feeds them and tends to them, he also uses them. It's like I want you to take care of my car, paint it. Oh, that's not such a science fiction. I have some old car. I want you to fix it, take it to the garage and add all kinds of gadgets and nicer things and whatever. Yeah. And it's my car. And then we'll sell it for, I don't know, $500,000 more. We'll add so much more. Meanwhile, you can drive it. Hey, that's nice. So it's not, you're not working for me because I'm your malve. You're working for me because you get the car to drive. It's mamish the case over here with the par and chamor. And that's okay. That's kosher. Mokum shenagu. What about the babies? What we spoke about yesterday in the Gemara, now is in the Mishnah. Mazel tov. That cow or that female donkey, what do they have? Yeah, zera dor yesharim mevarochim. They now have children. They have babies. Who splits them? You and I. The malve, the investor, and the worker. They split the babies. However, when do they split it? Mokum shenagu depends on minhag mokum. Depends on the local custom. In a place when they separate the babies and you take two and I take two, or we have one cow, we have to sell it, shecht it, whatever, one baby, then you do it right away. What does right away mean? You don't separate mothers from their babies. Don't start crying. No, not 8 days. We said yesterday. No. Very good. Yafeh. If it's a Bema Gasa, 50 days, right? Bema, and some say Bema Daka is 60 days more. Some say Bema Daka 1 month. But there is a period of time that together with the mother. Forget, we're not talking about no, the issue is to separate. Leave shchita alone. Yeah, so then what do we say? Then after the babyhood period, we split them. Let's say 2 babies. Okay, 1 for me, 1 for you. In a place where it's normal to do what? As I said yesterday, to automatically renew the subscription, which means, let's say the minhag hamokum is that the heskem, the operet, the agreement automatically moves to the next generation. Then what do we do? Let's remember we said yesterday, mazel tov, the cow had to oimim, let's say 2 babies. Then what? I, the farmer, automatically raise them until they grow, until they're 18 months, until they're much older, 18 months or more, 2 years. I raise them and breed them. And what do? One of them is completely mine. The other one is half mine and half yours. And there's no problem of ribbis because since I already raised the very same animal belongs to me and to you, and I'm a shutaf now, yeah. Therefore, it's not called ribbis because I have my own interest in this very same body, and that's not called I'm working for you. I'm working for myself, and a little bit extra for you. That's not substantial to call it ribbis. Baruch Hashem. Rabban Shimon Gamliel Oimer, and that's all Chazaro. This is stuff we saw in the Gemara. Shamin egelim imoy, b'siachim imoy. Let's say the person got now a female animal, whatever, the mare or the female donkey or whatever, and it has a baby. Now the person may claim, hey, wait a second. Let's say that's what he got. He got to take care of a mother and baby. Now he may say, I'm taking care of 2 different entities here, the mother and the baby. Now, taking care of a baby while he's with the mother at the first period of life is very easy. Yeah, you do have to take care of it. It's another being here, but it's like karuch achar imoy. It's secondary to the mother. It eats from the mother. It runs with the mother. The mom
animals are actually very protective of their children, right? In the wilderness. So the mother is very good with it. Says Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, you get paid nothing for taking care of the baby because the mother is there. And the Gemara asked before, excuse me, but Lamaisa, there is a little bit of care for the baby too. Yeah, not very much, but something you do with the baby. Answer the Gemara. What does he get according to Rabbi Shimon Gamliel? The glolim, the manure, the fertilizer that the mother, excuse me, makes. That would not be considered as a sachar usually, but because your work is so minimal, you get minimal sachar of dung. That one is good. Yeah, one is compensating for the other. That was his opinion. The other opinion of Tanakama said no, he has to be paid in full. Continues the Mishnah, and that will be the issue of today. The last line of the Mishnah is what we're going to focus on today. Umafriz al sadeu ben choshesh mishum ribbis. I'll just translate. It is absolutely useless to translate this line because the Gemara will explain it. What's lehafriz? Lehafriz in modern Hebrew also. We just celebrated Purim. You have already called, some cities are called prozos. What's prozos? Oh, prozos means open, like parutz, pritzes. Paruz is open, meaning it has no ends, it has no limits, limitless. Prozos teshev Yerushalayim. The Novi says no walls, right? Open completely, right? Meaning no walls, no borders, completely open. And therefore, a person is allowed to mafriz, to basically add, to exaggerate, to add more to his field, and there's no problem of ribbis. Of course, everyone's asking what's going on here. The Gemara is going to explain. Even Rashi and the Mishnah doesn't explain. Says the Gemara, Tanu Rabbanon. Yeah, that very line we're going to Be'ezus Hashem explain now. Tanu Rabbanon. Yeah, this is a brayse. Mafriz al sadeu ben choishesh mishum ribbis. A person is allowed to add more to his field, more and more, and there's no issue of ribbis. Ketzad. What on earth does that mean? Listen to this. Listen now. A person, you tell me how it's called, because we saw it in the previous Amud. A person is a nice worker, and he says to his friend, listen, I want to rent your field from you. What does rent mean? Not rent like rent a car. You have a field, you work in a law firm all day long, you were in koilel all day long, you have a field. I know how to tend to the field and how to till the earth. I will work your entire field, and every year I'll give you 10 kurim. 10 kor is a lot. I'll give you a set amount, 10 kor, 10, I don't know, 10 tons, let's say, every year. That will be what? That will be always yours. The rest will be mine. Okay? Beseder? Nagid. Usually it's the other way. How is it called? Chocher. It's chachirus, right? In other words, it's not percentage. Regardless of how much the field will make, you're always granted to have 10 kurim. Now, that field, bear in mind, is worth, let's say, how much? $1 million, nagid. And every year, I'm renting it from you by giving you a set amount, not percentage, a set amount called 10 kul every year, and that's my salary. All the rest I take. The guy sits in his law office, very happy. Every year he gets 10 kurim to his house, or 10 kurim to his bank account. All nice. The oimer loy, but then he says, hey, wait a minute. I have another clause before we close the deal. The oimer loy, the field worker, who's the chocher, says to Mr. Baal Hasod, the field owner, "Ten limasayim zuz be'afarnesena." You know what? I'm sorry to tell you, but to start working, I'm penniless. I need from you 200 zuz to be mefarnes the field. Says Rashi, parnos is not just for human beings. Lefarnes means to add, to cultivate, to sustain. I need 200 zuz. Says who? Says Rashi, to do charisha zriya. I need to get tools. I need to get a tractor, a combine. I need to get Jewish workers, Thai workers. I need to advertise. No, I actually not. I need to actually improve the actual field. Yeah, and that I want to borrow from you. And of course, I'll give you back those 200 shekels, which 200 whatever thousand shekels, which I'll buy the equipment in order to improve the field itself. And the field, I'm telling you, will look much nicer once I cultivate it and improve it. And listen to this: I'll give you back the money, the 200 zuz. Besides, if you give me that loan, I'll give you back the loan. Plus, I will give you not 10 kur a year, I'll give you 12 kur a year. Don't faint. The Gemara says, mutal. That's allowed. No avak ribbis, no mechzik ribbis. It's kosher lemehadrin, but that's Eid Charedis, and everyone's asking, why? What? Meaning? Now it's answer time instead of question time for a change. Very nice. The reason why this is allowed to explain Rashi is as follows. Very nice what you said. The reason is there are absolutely two stories happening here in parallel, not kosher one to the other. Which means the fact I borrowed from you 200 shekels, yeah, made me cultivate the field, and the field is now not worth million. The field itself, regardless whether I got it from you, Mr. Malver, or from the bank, or from Shimon Chaim Yankev, at the end of the day, my field is better. When I told you the beginning of the Heskem that I'll give you 10 kurim, that was for $1 million field. From $1.5 million or 2 million, which the field will be worth, yeah, regardless of the fact that you're a malve. Now I have equipment. Who cares where from? I have an equipment, and therefore now the field is really better. The ratio goes up from a field of 10 kur of X. I'm giving you 10 kur. A field that's now really, really better in its own body. The body of the field itself is better. Naturally, there's 12 kur now that it's making, and therefore it's so clearly separable. It's not even mechzik ribbis, because we see in front of our eyes a better field, not that schmattery, neglected business of the guy who doesn't know how to deal with it. We see now a field that's been improved. How? That's from left field, excuse the pun. And therefore what? Now I have a better field. Now instead of 10, I'm giving you 12, which is absolutely normal ratio. If you're another person, it'll be absolutely the same. It's not even mechzi. I have to tell you, it's a chiddush, not mechzi or avak. Here, the Gemara says it's clear that we have two boxes here. It's two separate things. However, aval, now of course comes an issue. Aval, however, ein mafriz lo al chanus velo al spina. Let's say the person now rented out for me a shop or a bar. Chanus means a place also where people sit and drink, which existed in times of the Gemara, or a boat, which means, let's say, as Rashi explains as follows. Let's say I not borrowed, I rented from you, like I think it's called franchise today, a boat. I have a boat, right? And with this boat, I want to go and sell stuff. With this boat, I want to go to different ports around the country and sell my schoira from port to port. Now, you rent me the sfina, and I say, listen, from X amount of profit, every year I'll give you X amount as your rent. Okay, and I'm the boat skipper, I'm the sailor, I'm the one there. Now I ask you, no, I'm so sorry. I need schoira. My boat is empty. I need sunglasses to sell to people who are walking by the boardwalk. Yeah, I need towels to sell them, something like that, the big nice sign. That is not allowed. Why? If he gives him back the 200 plus more money, that is not allowed. Why? Because here he did not improve the body of the boat. If the boat itself is better or the field itself is better, then it makes sense. A better field, a better boat, a better object makes more money, and then we can separate. And then we're not a bit paranoid anymore, and we say, no, these are two separate inyanim. I have a better field. Regardless of how it improved, a better field grants you to get the higher percentage. But if Lamaisa, the boat is the same, Fashtunken, excuse my language, the same old cranky boat, and I just have schoira, no. Then you gave me money to what? To get schoira, and you're getting more money. There's no more schoira. The schoira you gave me plus loan, I'm giving you back the loan, and more money, that's a problem because the schoira and the money are connected. And no, it's not that the field itself or the boat itself improved and naturally they yield more. No, glasses don't yield more sunglasses. You know what I'm saying? Whatever he sells there, the scarves or the towels, they don't yield more. Mapitom. You gave me the basic. I'm giving you a loan, back the ribbis, plus more percentage. That at least looks like ribbis. Continues the Gemara, Omar of Nachman, Omar of Baravua, the Omim Shemafriz al Chanus. Chanus also, a shop, sometimes you are allowed to add more money to the rent, to the rent that you're paying. For example, Lotzur Batsura. Oh, let's say, the Gemara is going to explain why. Let's say I borrowed money from you. I'm the shopkeeper, and I rent the shop from Mr. Shop Owner. Very, very common in this country. All the shopping centers are like that, so someone told me, most of them. And therefore, I'm now asking the Mr. Landowner to lend me money to paint a nice picture, nice neon lights, nice design, cool French, Italian design in the shop itself to improve the body of the shop that will attract more people to the shop and have higher revenue. That's allowed because that's like improving the field. Yeah, let's continue. Sfina lasos la iskaria. Let's say the sfina itself, iskaria means the mast and the sail. Yeah, I want to have a nicer mast, a nicer sail. better, nicer motor nowadays, nicer oars, whatever, then it's okay. What? Nicer oars, better oars. Yeah. Yeah. Chanus, why? The Gemara explains what I already told you. Chanus latu batzuta. The reason why it's okay to borrow money in order to improve the looks of the store and then give him on top of the loan back, I'll give him more revenue, higher rent. The tzavu ba'in. People want it. Tzavu means want. Like in Suba, the tzavila. Yeah, she wants. Yeah. People want the shop. Behavi agrat fei. There is just more people. When my shop has big fancy red neon lights and a very nice mazgan and nice this and nice that and all the painting, beautiful design, people invest a lot in those designs. Yeah. Right? I'll tell you later personal stories. Yeah. Lamaisa, yeah, therefore more people come. So nothing to do directly with a loan. It started with a loan, Beseder. Lamaisa, now I'm just making more money. If he doesn't, it's a good question. But naturally, there is more people coming to the beautiful, fancy, shiny store for the same price, just nicer store. Oh, wow. It attracts more customers. Beseder. From the shop that was small and dingy and stingy, I promised you, I don't know, 3,000 a month. Such a fancy store. There are more people. It's 4,000. Mazik kashur to the loan. And the same thing with the boat. Sfina, lasas lo iskaria. The Sfina has an iskaria. The Sfina has a better mast and a sail, and therefore it can what? Behavi agra kevin the Shapira iskaria, because now it has an improved equipment, nicer. It's called toren in Hebrew, by the way. The mast is called toren. Taf vav reish nun. Yeah, it has a nice mast and sails and all that. Tfei agra. Yeah. In other words, it makes more money. Now I can actually, my motor boat is much, much quicker. I can actually sell much more. It's not the actual sunglasses themselves. The boat itself produces more customers because it can reach a higher, a wider a range of customers that it couldn't before. And therefore, Mimela, nothing to do with your loan. Your loan made the Sfina better. Now the Sfina is a better Sfina? Yes, regardless how it came. A better Sfina yields more money. It just yields more money. So I promised you a rent of 1,000 when the Sfina was very, very slow. It takes it a whole day to get from Yafo to Haifa. Now it goes from Yafo to Haifa in half an hour. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, it's a better Sfina. It's like a better field. That's an underzach. Mimela, now I'm just giving you more money because I have a better place to be, a better chomer. And therefore that is allowed, and we disconnect it from the halva. Questions? Yes, questions. And okay, we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to everybody here. Navas Shalom, YouTube, and Torah Anytime. And we'll see you tomorrow, Metzia Hashem. We may be going to a short break next week, but for now, Chodesh Nisan Tov, Atzlocha, with the cleaning for Pesach. And tomorrow 9:30, stay with us. Stay tuned. Thank you. Bye.